Hello and welcome back to the Chatter Cave podcast for our festive editions. So obviously wrap out the year in terms of movie reviews, because there's still one more podcast to go before the year's out, which technically is movie related but not movie review. We're going to a franchise that I'm such a big fan of. I mean, I got a Christmas jumper; it's so good. But before we get to what it is, which is very blatant right now, but then again, could that be a ruse on my head? Because I got Grogu? No, because it's not. Because there's not Star Wars. Oh no, it's the Ewoks. The holiday special. Run! No. It's obviously Chat Cave podcast where we break down, review movies, TV shows, video games, have random conversations. I'm your host, Ranking Thomas Hughes. I'm joined by little Hayden, aka Nicola. But it's that time of year. She's fucking lazy. I mean, there's multiple times she's had to drop out podcasts or videos because she can't be asked. So she thought to basically take the load off her, she'd bring in her own co-host, her sister. Yeah, go on. Where is he? He's got his little earring. That's right. If you couldn't tell what we're reviewing today, we're reviewing Gremlins, the beloved 1980. I just turn around and the middle finger. If you want to take it off your arm, you can. If it's hurting.
Not
like my arm, which fucking digs into it.
Yeah.
Not the greatest puppets, ladies and gentlemen, but fucking really good looking.
At least it's not going up his arse.
True. Is it weird I want to make out with it?
I mean, you've heard Connor.
I know Connor wants to bang Greta. I'm trying to convince Connor to come onto a Gremlins 2 podcast.
Get him a puppet of her.
Get him Greta. I got the Funko Pop. I can give him that.
That'll work.
But yeah, we're obviously covering Gremlins. Fuck, what year was it released? 1980. Fuck, I can't actually remember what year it was released. 1980 something.
Professional.
I usually know this shit, but most things we've done recently I knew, but 84. Okay, I was 2 years off my mind. I was either going to say 82 or 86. I did a classic Connor thing when we did a quiz all those, like last year I think it was. You have to keep guessing the year. Problem was, he kept either going 2 years before or 2 years after. In this case, I've done the fucking same thing. But yeah, released in 1984. Obviously, Gremlins is obviously wasn't released at Christmas time because it was released in the summer, which is weird because it's very festive.
It talks a lot about Christmas.
Yes, everything about it is Christmas.
It looks like it was designed for a Christmas film, but couldn't get released until summer. That's what it looks like. It planned for it to be a Christmas film, but it never didn't work, I don't think. It looked like it was planned.
It definitely feels more Christmassy than...
Just if it wasn't like planned to be Christmassy, a birthday would have worked just as well.
That would be true. But then again, I mean, there's a whole Christmas Carol scene, so...
Yeah. You could still have done that with... The carol singers is just, random people come sing to your door. Americans like that.
Random fucking birthday carolers. But yeah, obviously Gremlins was made by Joe Dante, who gave us a lot of old school monster movies. The films like Piranha, The Howling. He was also gave us less monster movies in the form of films like Small Soldiers, the Looney Tunes movie. He's also the guy behind, I don't know if you remember that film, The Hole. Those two brothers and that next door neighbour, there's a hole in the basement. And it's like he starts making them see weird shit.
And holes? Where's that hole?
That one. It starts making them see weird shit, like a killer clown puppet and stuff like that. Dead people.
No.
You remember that? Wasn't a bad film, to be fair. But yeah, so obviously he's no stranger to films in this sort of vein. And I absolutely love this film. I can't put it doesn't put a foot wrong in my opinion. I watch it every year around Christmas, and it gives me the same fun feelings watching it. Like time after time after time, because my God, it's so fun. Yes, it's dark with some of the plot choices in terms of a certain character talking about suicide a lot, and obviously talking about a dad dying. And there is a lot of deaths thanks to these fuckers. But the mischievous deaths are not,
Yes, mischievous. Exactly how to explain death.
I mean, he fucks with some wiring. He didn't know she was going to sit on it. He's being mischievous. It's like, have some fun. Oh, fuck, she's dead.
Mischievous, or mischievously shove a syringe up some doctor's ass.
I like to think the doctor did it himself. I like to think they were like having a fun time.
Right.
And he shoved it up his own ass and was like, wait, wasn't that the deadly virus that I wasn't meant to use? Oh, shit.
Why would a school teacher have a deadly virus in a syringe?
Why not? Why the fuck not? It's America after all.
True.
But yeah.
That's why they got guns.
Specifically the Gremlins.
Yeah.
I.e. Spike himself. It's just, I mean, look at the designs of these creatures. They're just like, but obviously, people viewing it on YouTube, not Spotify and whatnot, because you can't really see the design. You have to just Google the design of the Gremlins and look at it, and I'll just go off that.
Very lizard-like, but you can still see the resemblance to Gizmo. You can still see the features, the ears,
the ears massively.
Yeah,
that's where
the
you
mouth
can
as well.
Get the resemblance from Gizmo.
The mouth, the ears, and the parts that you can see where it resembles Gizmo, but it takes them on a more
monstrous,
demonic, more goblin-looking.
Yes, it definitely looks like a goblin.
Yeah, like a little hobgoblin's going to go around pissing on people or something.
Obviously, this film sort of paved the way, specifically with these creatures, for other films that decided to go with little mischievous monsters, like the films like Critters, Ghoulies, stuff along that line. Obviously, those sort of films came out because of how successful this movie was. They were like, okay, these mischievous little bastards, they're hilarious, and we need more creatures like them. And this was not cheap. This cost a lot of money. But it's worth it because I love Gremlins so much. I would have a Mogwai teddy with me, but I can't fucking figure out where the fuck it's gone.
I can grab a dog.
Nah, I don't think I did the same thing.
Well, trust me.
I don't think it does the same thing, but it's still, either way, it's got a good story. It's paced pretty well. It's got good comedy. Obviously, I mean, look at the fucking creatures. They're both hilarious and terrifying at the same time. I remember having nightmares as a kid about that. Because I remember having a choice between Mogwai and a plushie of this, and I went for the Mogwai, but still, for some reason, every time I thought of its face, it pictured this and it would shit me up.
Like, Mogwais are very similar Furbies, visually. And I think it might be like, either it was like a reference to Furbies, this is where they came from, this is where like people got the idea from. Around the same time, weren't they?
Oh, I don't know. How old are Furbies?
Sure. I think they're around about like 80s, I think.
I'll Google Furbies.
Might be earlier. I'm pretty sure they're around the 80s.
Would help us spell Furby right. Furbies. 98.
Really?
They came out when we were born.
Jesus. Most likely they were inspired by the film.
This predates Furbies. By a mile.
Wait, because everyone always calls it an 80s toy. It
says 98 on there. It was released in 1998. Wow. But yeah, it nails the Christmas spirit. I mean,
death and destruction.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like Christmas.
Exactly. what else do you need at Christmas apart from death and
I
destruction?
know, death, destruction, dead sounds like perfect.
Exactly.
Sounds like getting ripped apart.
It's Christmas. If that doesn't scream Christmas, then call me a moron.
All we need now is the family to fight each other. And then it's exactly like Christmas.
I mean, technically speaking, Gizmo and these are related. They do bully him a
True.
lot.
True.
Christmas.
He's basically his kids beating him up.
Christmas?
Just like Christmas.
Christmas? I mean, the practical effects of this movie are spot on.
I will admit, I do like the practical.
And so it doesn't really utilise digital.
No.
For certain shots, it will use a lot more stop frame animation. It's more practically done than anything, which I like. Because obviously, nowadays, something like this, that's be all digital.
Oh yeah, there would be some practical.
It'd be some practical, but they would use a lot more digital.
I think it'd be a lot like Man-Thing if it was like a lot of care into it. The elements are practical.
It's still there,
but there's still a lot of digital.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like maybe like the close-ups would be like a practical puppet of movements. Wouldn't be stop motion.
I doubt they'd have like all of them practical either. I reckon a lot of them would be digital done.
No, it would be more like for the close-up, like proper close-up.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like when there's a bunch of them, I reckon most of that would be digital.
Around, it'd be digital.
Whereas this, they're not. It's
then
actually
things would be digital.
Whereas this is actually practical, which is really good. Because that sells the movie more for me. That's what I liked about when we did Krampus, was the use of practical effects in that. Whereas, okay, you didn't really utilise much digital effects, but the practical effects were spot on. It's just everything else about the film was a bit weak. Whereas this, practical effects are spot on, and everything else about the film is spot on as well. Like, it's such a good movie. It's got such a decent cast, and obviously it spawned a bit of a more divisive sequel in terms of quality. Yes, it kind of leans heavily. It leans heavily that time more into the comedy, a bit more than the Christmas theme. Because obviously this does kind of lean into the Christmas film and the whole gift idea. In fact, obviously Mogwai's a gift to Billy.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of snow around. Whereas the next one kind of leans heavily into the more goofy side of it.
More focused on these.
Like it takes the bar scene and goes like basically just pumps more of that into an entire feature film essentially. Whereas this kind of pushes it into certain scenes, like as of the bar scene, the final act. What are you doing inside his head? Stop wiggling his ear. It's a twitch.
Can't help it.
But obviously, yes. Anyway, there's a few scenes here that basically are goofy, but everything else is quite taken a bit more seriously. Whereas in the next one, as I say, they go a bit more goofier, which I'm not going to get into too much because in the new year we actually are going to cover it. We're just going to do something between this and that. So yeah, I'm not going to go too much into the second one because obviously I want to talk about that after I've rewatched it and fully focus on that one. But this is obviously fully focused on the OG Gremlins. And as I say, it's fun. It's fun, dark, and it resembles Christmas. What else can you need? Any thoughts you got for me here?
I do.
Or are you going to make your co-host do it for you?
No, I do agree with the whole the practical worked really well, and like the designs look really good. I mean, even like just Gizmo, it's a simple looking design, but it's practically quite well done because it's like that fine line between it's still an animal, but it's kind of mystical, man. There's a uniqueness to it, and there's also you can see the intelligence. Even in just Gizmo, like you can see in the reactions, the little voices it makes. Brilliant. Like when they start hatching, you can see it. Gizmo just shitting himself.
Yeah, because you know he's gonna get bullied. You know he's gonna be stuck on that dartboard.
Yeah, because obviously Gizmo is obviously a lot smaller than these little fuckers. They're small, but compared to Gizmo, these are big bullies.
They are the jocks. They're basically jocks.
tonight.
Uh,
Yeah, but I like the practical side. But I'm not the biggest fan of some of the like it's a mischievous ones. It seemed a little bit too much for me. I think it didn't feel as mischievous as it should be. It feels a little bit more violent. You know what I mean?
See, that's the thing. In their eyes,
Yeah.
they're being mischievous. I mean, they're laughing.
Mm.
They're seeing it as, oh, yes, we stole a snowflake. But in reality, is they are being violent because they're kind of trying to ram this snowplow into this. But I mean, they are little mischievous bastards. I mean, the Christmas caroling scene. I mean, they're literally tricking her.
Yeah.
They're lolling her just so this guy, the one can sneak in and fucking fuck with electrics and be like, here, can have some fun here. But in reality, she sits there and it just shoots her out the window. Which is still funny. It's violent, but funny. Because that character is a bitch.
Yeah.
I built her up as this arsehole character. I mean, her husband's a convicted felon, it even says. So it kind of makes sense to have this, like, really over-the-top, kind of brutal compared to the rest of the death. Because, I mean, all the deaths are mainly off-screen. Hers is on-screen. You literally watch her, she flies through a window and hits the floor.
Yeah, I think for me, the fact that they're actually killing people seems less mischievous and it's more like they're just classic monsters killing stuff. Like the whole point of Gremlins was supposed to be like the little tinkerers, like they just they destroy stuff, don't usually kill, and that's why.
They're little mischievous
Not
bastards.
These ones.
They're mischievous bastards.
Like the law it comes from, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's a different kind of Gremlins. This is the mischievous kind of Gremlins. That mischief leads to death. Beep.
I think I like some parts of it. Is as a whole, it wouldn't be a film I would be interested in, but I can see why you'd like it. So.
They're little mischievous bastards. I mean, I wouldn't want to run into one in Dark Alley because I mean, you know, unless it's the Flasher one, or the the fucking puppeteer gremlin. It's the one's face is just like, really. I'm trying to have a monologue.
I do like how they all have their own
personalities.
That's good. Not all just like carbon copies of each other.
But yeah, they all have their own personalities. You have the Flash dance form. Random cutaways to it doing spinnings. You have the robber one. They said the Flasher. The puppet one. The gamblers.
And you got the mob boss.
Mob boss is Stripe, yes. The smokers. The drinkers. I mean, I just love them. They're funny little bastards. I mean, they're fun. Their own actions hilarious. Hey, look, this one's just drunk itself off a chair. Look. Funny. But yeah, I do like the fact obviously when they get obviously the different phases to how you can deal with. Obviously, you got the light obviously is they're deaf, so that's like a rule of no, don't do that. You got the rule of don't get them wet because wet makes them multiply, makes little balls, and obviously then they grow really quickly into mogwais. Or if they're already like this, they'll instantly become this. And obviously, you got the food after midnight because that will turn them into this and make them these little mischievous bastards. But I do like when they do transform. It's like a massive cocoon egg, like aliens. And obviously, then they hatch into that. Also reminds me of the Turbo Power Rangers movie with the turtle creatures. They're like eggs on the boat, and they grow and grow until they hatch big turtle monsters. Whereas it's these very smart intellectual creatures. I mean, they are pretty dumb, but they still are pretty smart.
For a creature.
They are. I mean, the one literally is like, oh, if I literally jump in this pool, I know I'm going to create like a fucking army here. And he does. He knows exactly what he's doing to get more and more. And they say for a creature, which is this little mischievous monster, it's smart. It's not as smart as Gizmo,
No.
but
This
that
one's...
that one's probably the
Mhm.
smartest of all of them because it's the leader.
This one's more sinister as well. They're less mischievous, more sinister.
Oh, he's definitely the sinister one. But I mean, all the other ones, I think all the other ones are the mischievous ones.
Yeah.
It's just he's the more dark of of the Gremlins.
I like to think he was the first one.
Well, he's one of the first ones, isn't he?
I mean, like the very first one that was spawned, and that like and then the rest came on, and that's why he's always gonna be the unique one. He's the first.
More than likely. I mean, you don't really see which one is which in terms of hatching. You just see them all fly out, and the next minute they all start becoming it. And obviously he gets up, and he's already got a mohawk on him. You already know that's the one you don't fuck with. And obviously, when it grows into this bastard, you're like, okay, that's the one I don't want to fuck with. But obviously, there's a lot of. I think there is some interesting characters in this film. Obviously, you got the love interest who's actually quite smart. I mean, she instantly sees with the light with the match, like, okay, light scares this thing. Use light. Obviously, Billy is smart for the fact he's like, okay, we've got them all in one place. I want to go and use the gas to blow them to smithereens. Obviously, you've also got. I want to say Dad's that smart. He's meant to be this genius engineer. Like he's got like these mad creations.
He's got some good ideas.
It's just the shit inventions. Yeah, smokeless ashtray. Open it up and you get smoke. Smoke.
He's better at the concept side.
The idea, it's just
not the physical creating.
The execution. And obviously, he's the whole reason this all starts off because he gives Billy. But he gets sold the Mogwai from obviously the guy who owns him's fucking like grandson. Who's like, give me some money. Come on, give me some money. Granddad doesn't know what he's talking about here.
I think that.
Cheers.
Well, that little kid's fault.
I mean, technically speaking, it is.
Yeah.
Because he sold the Mogwai. He was told not to, and yet he had a backhand. He was like, yeah, cheers, mate. Here's the money. Yeah. Here's your present. Just be careful. There's these rules. Granddad's never going to find out. Well, earlier today there was a massive explosion downtown. Oh no, Granddad's going to find out. Granddad's going to kill me. Your generic older individual, more than like that's probably a better way of putting it. The generic older individual who's a bit more, foreigners, this, that. Very, he's not fully racist, but he's very subtly racist.
Casual racist.
That's the word, yeah. But obviously that actor is kind of in pretty much most of Dante's work. Because he was in Prana, and he's in The Hole. So I think The Hole was his last film he did before he died. Obviously he passed away in real life, that actor did. But I do like the fact that he's the one who sort of hints at the idea of gremlins early on. He's like, there's gremlins doing this and that. And at the end when he's like, there's gremlins in my truck! And his voice is like, you're crazy! There's gremlins! And obviously you think they're dead, but reality is they're back for a sequel. Like, four of the cast. Love the couple. The older couple. And Gizmo. Oh, and the old man. He makes a little cameo at the start. So 6 come back for the sequel from this. Stop biting me with it. Give me the puppet back. You're not allowed anymore. Take your hand out the back. Be careful. Don't fucking destroy my puppet. Well, you owe me like 200 quid. There you go. If I put it like that, you can still see your face. Yeah, your hands off my puppet. What else to say? Oh, I like the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack's very good. It's got a lot of festive tunes. It reminds me of obviously Krampus with the festive music, but then it's got the really mischievous but sinister type theme song. The mischievous, still sinister. It sums up Gremlins. I do like obviously the start. It's basically starts with the obviously the rules, obviously explaining about the Gremlins, and then it ends with the notion of okay, if something's happening with this, something's happening with that, don't call the cops. Turn on your lights, have a look around, check every nook and cranny in your house, because there just might be a gremlin in your house. So it's the idea of you obviously for as an audience be like, okay, Mod 1 might be the only one, like Gizmo might be the only one, but it could be more.
Yeah.
Plus, if they didn't get them all, there could be still more run town.
It's a lot like, remember Blink, Doctor Who? That one episode. We got the rules of they don't blink, don't look away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
when Dave turns belly in it, he just keeps coming on screen every now and again.
Right at the end, they do the exact same rules and focus on so many different statues and gargoyles. Make you think any of these could be one. It makes kids and other people watching it think, what if they're real? That little thing of making you shit scared of statues, making you shit scared of Gremlins come around.
But yeah, obviously, there's gonna be a very divide in the score for this.
Oh yeah,
it's one of those ones I just absolutely love.
I can tell you love it. Yeah, you love it. It's one of those ones where I think, like, as a kid, I wouldn't have watched it, so I didn't. But
Fester's got my finger. Sport.
I think in your childlike innocence, it's.
I mean, I've got the puppet. I've got a bobblehead, not a Funko Pop. I do have Funko, but I mean, I also have a actual big bobblehead of Spike with a cookie. Where is the Spike one? Oh, is it Spike? Huh? Why? Stripe, not Spike. Who the fuck's Spike?
From Buffy the Vampire Slayer? The vampire?
Pretty sure Spike's in other things as well. It's Stripe, not Spike, you dickhead.
I was really confused. I was like, what we going to Buffy? Spike's the totally
I know
British,
Spike is fucking...
totally British.
Did I say Spike earlier as well?
No.
Or did I say Stripe earlier?
That's why it confused me. I thought this Spike the name of one for the second film when you're remembering it.
No.
I was like,
Not at all. I've lost my train of thought now. I was talking about leading up to saying Spike.
You got a bobblehead.
Oh, yes, Stripe.
Stripe, yeah.
The cookie.
But
yeah, it's got some cheeky gore in it, cheeky gremlin gore. I mean, the whole kitchen scene of massacring the mom massacring the gremlins is hilarious. Sees one in the blender, fuck it, I'm clicking this blender on. Sees one in like a fucking by microwave, fuck it, kick him in the microwave. Fucking sees one basically just standing there. It's just fucking psycho, this bitch.
I mean, you can definitely see that the idea is because you get so many of them, we can actually kill a few.
Yeah, you can easy to kill. As seen, they're idiots. The ones like him are smart, the leader, but most of the minions are just dumbasses that are easily killable. I mean, he just stands there and just takes it, the one with a fucking knife. He just stands there and lets it fucking do him in. But yeah. Anything else you can think of? We get to the ratings then?
Get to the rating.
Okay. I mean, it's simple for me. It's like my second favourite Christmas movie of all time. First being Muppets Christmas Carol. It's just I just love it. Love it so much. So I'm just gonna go straight to the point, and I'm gonna give this movie 10 out of 10. The Dragon's Egg, because I love Gremlins.
Now who's being biased?
I'm biased. The film's amazing. The film's a masterpiece.
For me, it's more of an average film, but I will give it props for the props. The actual practical stuff is actually really good. Like better than like E.T. I wasn't a big fan of that either.
Love E.T.
But I'd say the props and design for these are a lot better than Big Ball Sack Boy.
It's funny things about you hating E.T.
See you too, bitch. Yeah, so for me, I'd give it a 7. It's alright. But I will give props for what it did.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, there is a lot of Spielberg references since Spielberg obviously produced the movie. There's a lot of references to E.T. specifically, with the whole teddy bear at one point. There's also obviously technically actor references in the form of obviously the fact that the kid from Goonies is in it again in the film Spielberg produced. Okay. 7. 40 was that, but I wanted to make sure. Okay, so obviously that score of 10 and 7 gives Gremlins the Chattercape overall rating of 8.5 out of 10. MVP Gizmo. I mean,
I have to say that because of my dog.
This is hilarious though. I mean, he's driving a little pink car at one point. Gizmo's just like the best. Like, it's just great. Plus he's cute and innocent, and it's like both hilarious and upsetting when he's getting bullied. Like oh. Okay, runner up. We're going human character, or we're gonna go Spike.
Might as well.
I said Spike again on purpose. I was waiting for you to catch it, but you didn't catch it.
Well, I can't be off.
Thank you.
Okay.
Stripe then. He's the smartest of all the bunch, and he's the one that actually posed a massive threat to human life. I mean, he thrown fucking saw blades at fucking Billy. He put himself in water to try and multiply himself as a last stand to basically deal with Gizmo and the humans. So, yeah, that, and you know, he's the one who probably did the most damage for people. Yeah. Favorite moment. I'm gonna go with the stop frame animation shot. I was gonna go with the bar scene because bar scene is pretty funny, but I want to go with the stop frame animation shot where obviously what applies in the water, obviously escapes. Obviously, he cuts to Billy's trying to deal with something else in terms of the cops, trying to convince them because the cops are dumb and like, look at this thing. Hey, give him some water. Let's see what happens. And it cuts like elsewhere, and you just like see this like army of like these gremlins. Like you see him walk out first, and then behind him he's like a massive army of them was running behind. But it's all stop frame, which is pretty cool. So I like that shot of this huge army of gremlins.
I mean, I'd say when you first see him come out the box, means that they're on the tag right there.
He puts his hands on top and puts his head out.
Very subtle and scene. That one.
Do like the first shot with him heavily is that, and then the final shot is him poking his head at the box one more time, going "Bye, Billy." Okay. Question. Would you like to see more practically done horrors like this? Not just festive ones, like some like spooky horror comedies. Would you like to see more practically done, where they're utilising a lot more stuff like this? Like things like again, Critters did it as well with the old ones. It utilised practical over digital. So would you like to see more like that?
I like a good mix, like, practical for a lot of stuff, but a bit of digital just to make it sure it's a bit more alive. Like, a practical is good, but you don't want it to look like a puppet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a bit of digital every now and then does help, but don't rely on it too much. If you rely on it too much, it just feels like it's just copy and pasted onto the thing. I think too much practical can sometimes draw away from the film, especially nowadays with the quality of like recording and stuff. It could drag it out. Like with Jaws, instead of kept the puppet shot like model thing on the camera all the time, it would look shoddy because they hid it. They knew the actual practical wouldn't be as good. But obviously with digital, you can add a mix to both. Once digital, it looks soulless. Once puppet, it can look dated. A little bit of mix.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's it for Okay Podcast. next week we're going to be not next week. Technically speaking, this is
Mhm.
midweek. Friday we're going to be doing basically like an end of the year sum up, like obviously picking out our top movies of the year, TV shows, games, and also trying to obviously pick our best. Basically, what we're most looking forward to coming from next year in terms of the same sort of categories. Obviously, basically we try to drag like an actual conversation about that. So it's kind of more of a talking, less reviewing kind of one. That's we do one every now and again. Obviously, me and Connor technically covered the idea of most anticipated media last year, and obviously I did the whole favorite things on Instagram. So obviously we're going to just mashing them into one this year. So obviously we're going to be doing that, which is the Dragon King Entertainment Awards. Obviously on the Chat K podcast. But obviously you can also check out the previous Christmas ones we've done. Because obviously we did Krampus, Hawkeye, and Santa Jaws. Totally have recorded that one yet and not doing these out of order. Plus the Christmas ones we did 2 years ago. Plus the Christmas videos I did with Connor last year. You can check all these out either on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you fucking want to check it out. It's more than likely going to be on that. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed, and we hope you had a nice Christmas, and we hope you have a good New Year. So, well, how I say, we'll see you before New Year anyway, but bye.
Bye.